Kyrie Irving, what is going on? Whatever's going on with him, hopefully it is something that can be rectified, whether it's something between the temples or something. Because Harden has arrived. This is it. And you got to get these guys on the court stat. There isn't a single possession that doesn't have value in it for the Brooklyn Nets right now. There is not a single possession. Ask any NFL team in the era of COVID how their practice schedules are completely thrown out of whack. In the bubble, it was just like any old times. How you could work on stuff, practice this, practice that. That's it. Now, I mean, you don't even know when you're playing a game. You have no idea when you're playing a game. You have no idea if your game's going to be wiped off the map on a Monday. You might have your next 2 games wiped off because other teams are dealing with what's going on right now, and hopefully they're tightening the protocol will mitigate that in the future weeks for the NBA. But I'm telling you, man. And again, you know, in the sports world, if an athlete is not using a crutch or has a cast, if it's a soft tissue injury or even worse, because it is worse, what's going on between the temples, we think, come on, let's go. Your team's playing. But if they've got a cast or they've got a crutch, it's like, okay, I understand. How long? 4 to 6? Mm-hmm. Okay. And when it's longer than 4 to 6, oh, must be complications. I get it. But when it's soft tissue or it's, I got to take a personal break, I got mental issues or something like that, and I don't mean to say that is exactly what's happening with Kyrie Irving, but you can't remove it from the realm when you're not contacting your employer or your employer cannot contact you or doesn't know for sure, as communication issues, as Ian Eagle called what he said was the Kyrie Irving situation. But they've got to get reps. They got to go. They got to go right now. Because guess who's already a cohesive unit? The newly recharged Los Angeles Lakers. That's for sure. The team that essentially sent Harden to the podium. I've had enough of this. I'm out. Accommodated within 24 hours of the statement. Exit visas stamped within 24 hours of the statement. And remarkably, within the same 10 minutes yesterday, Trump impeached, Harden removed. That was a wild 10 minutes. I didn't know. My Twitter feed just was literally refreshing every 5 seconds with somebody's new tweet about something. And then the Harden stuff.
Yeah, the conflux of NBA and political news in your
was out
timeline
of control yesterday.
Was nuts.
And then, you know, it was much easier to understand one single final vote from the House of Representatives. This one was just like, okay, the Cavs are involved, the Pacers are involved, and this is a pick swap, and that's an actual pick trade.
Oladipo?
And that
Like,
pick
what?
comes
This
from
is nuts.
Cleveland, and this one goes from Cleveland to the Nets, who gets what? Like, it's just Harden and a second rounder? That's it? And then, wait a minute, and then are the first rounders protected? No, they're unprotected.
Playoff clinching scenarios are easier to follow this. And
with ties. The ones that include ties in the NFL
are easier.
Right. Honestly, if you ever saw Homeland, where, you know,
Homeland, exactly.
carries, you know, boards, you know, her bulletin boards with all the conspiracy theory. I can't figure it out.
And the red yarn and the lines
Seriously.
connecting this guy to that guy.
Like Buffalo Bill's wall was more organized, it seemed like. Next to, you know, the lotion in the basket.
Hey, now.
Telling you, man, it was a wild day yesterday. And then the Nets cannot afford, like, let's go. Kyrie, you know, let's go. Whatever it is, let's figure it out and get you back out there because they've got to. Let me ask you this. Kyrie doesn't return. Harden and Durant enough? Is Harden and Durant enough?
It's enough to get
well, Karis LeVert is a large chunk of scoring, man.
Yeah. I wish they still
It's enough to get you deep into the Eastern Conference playoffs.
You know who's been elevated to the starting 5 is DeAndre.
Yeah.
Who's
going to be asked to do a little bit more now.
He was deep on the bench, man.
Yeah.
He was?
Yeah. He wasn't getting serious minutes.
Joe Harris has been nice so far this year.
Well, he's
a shooter of the first order. But NBA still has a COVID issue.
Right.
Washington's having more postponements. There have been so many this week.
Awful.
It's only getting worse. So.
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.